Do you enjoy watching movies and television shows about tsunamis? If yes, then you're probably aware that they usually strike without warning. They can be as high as multi-story buildings. Their waves are so strong that they can destroy anything in their path, including thousands of people. However, what you see in the movies and television shows happen in real life. In this video, we'll talk about ordinary seawater that suddenly becomes a massive killer wave and how the ocean creates such a wave. It may not bother you right now, but you never know what the future holds. So you might as well listen because you might learn how to save lives, including your own. The first thing you need to know is how to detect if the approaching wave is a tsunami. However, because tsunamis are noted for their suddenness, detecting them will most likely be extremely difficult. This could be why a tsunami in Japanese refers to a wave in the harbor. The tsunami's suddenness was proven by a group of fishermen returning home with their catch and discovering that their port had been wrecked by a powerful wave that they hadn't even noticed. Tsunamis in the open ocean rarely exceed a meter or 3.3 feet in height. Their length or the distance between ridges, on the other hand, can range from 100 to 200 kilometers, or about 60 to 120 miles. It's also worth noting that tsunamis are at least 1,000 times larger than typical waves, with a speed that is similar to how a jet plane travels. Also, tsunamis only occur in big sizes around coastlines. So what could be the explanation for the occurrence of tsunamis? Let's have a look at the many aspects that make up the environment. You might be thinking that the wind is one to be blamed for this. But no, the wind has no bearing on a tsunami, as it does in the case of ordinary waves. Tsunamis happen due to a short but violent impulse from beneath the ocean, which literally pushes the mass of water, causing a large-scale sudden shift in the ocean. The violent impulses from beneath are usually caused by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, the collapse of rocks and glaciers, or asteroids colliding with the water. However, out of all these potential causes, seismic activity is the most recorded cause of the disaster in 88 occurrences of tsunamis. A tsunami's pushing energy, unlike that of a regular wave, flows through the water rather than on top of it. As a result, it's difficult for people to notice almost 95% of a tsunami's creation process since it is always invisible to the naked eye. They would only notice this killer wave at the end of its process, the moment it reaches the surface. When earthquakes and lithospheric plates on the Earth happen, the shake is nearly 8 times stronger, and in this case, a tsunami is avoidable. This means there would always be a portion of the seafloor that rises due to the violent impulse, while the other portion falls. The next thing that will happen is that the ocean begins to vibrate vertically, causing a sequence of waves to form, which would be about a half meter or 1.64 feet high. Everything in the ocean's depth is trembling from the bottom to the surface. A massive quantity of water would rush to the coast at speeds ranging from 400 to 880 kilometers per hour, or about 249 to 547 miles per hour. This, however, can reach 1,000 kilometers per hour or 621 miles per hour in extreme situations. You might not be prepared if you encountered tsunamis in real life. You will almost unknowingly die because you were so enthralled by the strange behavior of the water. This is because what you see from the coast might not look like a deadly wave is coming. For instance, because the earthquake often causes the tsunami to retreat, exposing the coast, you might be fascinated by the different shells and creatures that you're now seeing on the seabed. You might even start collecting these materials rather than saving yourself. Well, this is what most people do when confronted with a tsunami for the first time. But do you know what happens on the water that seems to gather? Due to the congestion, a portion of the wave slows to 50 kilometers or about 31 miles per hour, and the rest of the water mass begins to rise. Keep in mind that how high the wave of a tsunami will depend on how deep the ocean is. The tsunami will become even more powerful as the water recedes. So if the water in the ocean, beach, or sea appears to be moving away from the coast, it could be preparing to hit the coast with a large, deadly wave. Now you know that the strange behavior of the ocean, exposing its seabed, isn't something we should celebrate, but rather prepare for a coming disaster. This is what Tilly Smith, an English schoolgirl, did in 2004 on the Indian Ocean's coast. Tilly learned about the behavior of the water that quickly retreats from the shore before a tsunami in geography class. So when she saw it firsthand, she encouraged her parents and everyone else in the area to leave the area and save themselves. This small girl's deed aided over 100 individuals in the region to be saved. When faced with a situation like this, you must respond immediately. Even if the wave slows as it retreats, the wave's speed when it hits the coast is still in the tens of kilometers or miles per hour range. This implies that you only have around 20 minutes to get 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles inland, or at the very least, climb up onto a roof or a strong tree. If you happen to be hit by the water, remove your heavy shoes and clothing, since it will be incredibly difficult to move in such attire. Keep in mind that once the water has receded, you should not return to the danger zone. This is the mistake done by residents of the Soviet city of Severokurilsk in 1952, when a tsunami hit them. Those who were able to survive in the first wave were swept away half an hour later by the second, which was around 15 to 18 meters, or 49 to 59 feet tall. It's normal for a tsunami's first wave to be the weakest. Occasionally, the first wave's job is to clear the path, carrying cars, trees, and properties with it, while the second wave sweeps everything back, destroying structures and anything in its path. In Severokurilsk, this is exactly what happened. The shaking began at 4 in the morning. When the morning fog cleared, residents were confronted by some debris of the city floating in the water. On top of this, residents weren't able to relax until 3 to 4 hours following the final attack. It's not enough to rely on water's unusual behavior, because it doesn't always retreat before a tsunami. To get the most up-to-date information regarding the tsunami, it's important to listen to tsunami warning centers. Seismic waves travel far faster than normal waves. Therefore, a warning from such a center can save residents a few minutes, and if the earthquake's source is far from the coast, it can give the residents hours to prepare. The warning from these centers must arrive no later than the wave itself to be able to let residents find a way to save themselves. Apart from the earthquakes, the collapse of ice and rocks can also result in tsunamis, such as the world's largest tsunami, which occurred in Alaska. About 90 million tons of rock and ice slid into the bay from the mountains. The water soared 524 meters, or about 1,720 feet, up into the sky. A wave surged across the water, uprooting trees and tossing one ship across the island, which was 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles from the epicenter. There are also tsunamis that have occurred as a result of volcanic eruptions. Thousands of ships were destroyed and 10,000s of people were killed when the Indonesian volcano Krakatoa erupted in the 19th century. Mankind as well is capable of unleashing such a killer tsunami. This occurred in the mid-20th century when people exploded an undersea atomic weapon. The explosion caused a wave that reached a height of 29 meters or 95 feet. Fortunately, there were no casualties because the wave calmed down after reaching 300 meters or 984 feet tall. Asteroids crashing into the water are the rarest cause of tsunamis. The Chicxulub asteroid, which had a diameter of 11 to 81 kilometers or 6.8 to 50.3 miles, carved a 20-kilometer deep crater and caused a tsunami that was 14 meters or 1.5 kilometers or about 46 feet to 0.93 miles high. The tsunami that occurred near the island of Sumatra in 2004 was considered to be the deadliest. It afflicted 14 countries and claimed the lives of about 200,000 people. It was triggered by an earthquake, and the energy released was equivalent to 20,000 atomic bombs, similar to the one dropped on Hiroshima. Even with all this in mind, don't be frightened to go on water or participate in water adventures. The Pacific Ocean area known as the Ring of Fire poses the greatest threat of tsunamis, yet even there, tiny waves occur just 4 times a year, and tsunamis in a height of 10 meters or approximately 30 feet once per decade. Have you ever been in the area when a tsunami occurred? What exactly did you do? Share with us your experience in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please click the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are posted. And as always, thanks for watching Ponder This.